Long before cities existed, before roads crossed continents, before history itself was written, there was the desert, an ocean of sand stretching beyond the horizon, silent and ancient, shaped only by wind and time. This is the Sahara, the largest hot desert on Earth, a wilderness so immense it spreads across North Africa, covering more than 9 million square kilometers of unforgiving land. At first glance, the Sahara appears lifeless. Just endless waves of golden dunes rising and falling like a frozen ocean of sand. These dunes are not permanent mountains. They are sculptures of the wind, slowly carved and reshaped over thousands of years. But the desert is never truly still. Every grain of sand is constantly moving, pushed by invisible currents of air that sweep across the land day and night. Over time, these winds build enormous dunes, some towering more than 100 meters high. During the day, the sun rules this world without mercy. Temperatures soar beyond 40 degrees Celsius, turning the ground into a burning sea of sand. The heat is so intense that it bends light itself, creating shimmering mirages along the horizon. Distant dunes appear to float like islands on an invisible ocean. In a place this extreme, survival seems impossible. Yet the Sahara is far from empty. Life has learned to adapt in extraordinary ways. Small reptiles glide across the dunes, moving quickly across scorching sand before the heat becomes unbearable. Their bodies are built for efficiency, conserving every drop of moisture in a land where water is almost non-existent. Beneath the surface, insects tunnel through the sand, emerging only when temperatures allow. Tiny creatures leave delicate trails across the dunes, their footprints erased moments later by the wind. As the blazing sun begins to fall below the horizon, the desert begins to change. The heat fades and a different world awakens. Somewhere among the dunes, a small hunter begins its nightly patrol. The fennec fox, with oversized ears and pale sand-colored fur, this remarkable animal is perfectly adapted for life in the desert. Its large ears help release body heat, while also allowing to hear the faintest movements beneath the sand. Hidden prey, insects, rodents, or reptiles, rarely escape its notice. In the Sahara, survival depends on patience, instinct, and adaptation. Even the plants here have evolved incredible strategies to endure the harsh conditions. Many desert seeds lie buried beneath the sand for years, sometimes even decades, waiting for a single moment: rain. Because in the Sahara, rain is one of the rarest events on Earth. Months, sometimes years, can pass without a single drop falling from the sky. But when rain finally arrives, the desert transforms almost overnight. Dormant seeds awaken. Tiny flowers bloom across the sand in bursts of color that seem impossible in such a dry land. For a brief moment, the Sahara reveals a hidden side, vibrant, alive, and full of unexpected beauty. But the desert is also a place of immense power. Far beyond the horizon, the wind begins to gather strength. At first, it is only a distant haze rising above the dunes. Then the sky slowly darkens. Within minutes, a wall of dust rises into the atmosphere. A sandstorm is forming. Driven by powerful winds, billions of grains of sand lift into the air, racing across the desert at incredible speed. These storms can turn daylight into darkness. Visibility disappears. The horizon vanishes completely. And yet, these violent storms are also the forces that shape the Sahara itself. Over time, sandstorms push dunes across the landscape, slowly moving entire mountains of sand. The desert is never fixed, never permanent. It is constantly shifting, constantly changing. Across this immense emptiness, movement sometimes appears along the distant horizon, tiny silhouettes slowly crossing the dunes. For thousands of years, travelers have crossed the Sahara using knowledge passed down through generations. Camel caravans once carried salt, gold, and goods between distant civilizations. In this unforgiving environment, camels became the ultimate desert survivors. Their wide feet spread their weight across the sand, preventing them from sinking into the dunes. Their bodies can endure long journeys with little water. They move patiently and steadily across terrain where few other animals could survive. As evening arrives, the heat of the day finally begins to fade. Shadows stretch across the dunes as the sun sinks lower in the sky. Soon, Darkness spreads across the desert once again, but the night reveals something extraordinary, far from cities and artificial lights. The Sahara offers one of the clearest views of the universe anywhere on Earth. Above the silent dunes, the sky explodes with stars. The Milky Way stretches across the heavens like a glowing river of light. For thousands of years, these same stars guided travelers across the desert. And tonight, they continue to shine over the endless sands. Standing in the middle of the Sahara, beneath a sky filled with stars, it becomes clear how vast this world truly is. What appears empty at first glance is actually a place filled with hidden life, ancient forces, and timeless landscapes. The Sahara is not just a desert. It is a living wilderness shaped by wind, heat, and time beyond imagination. And in its endless silence, it reminds us of something profound. Even in the loneliest places on Earth, life endures.